So yeah, first off, thanks so much for talking with us today. I was just hoping, first off, you could give a bit of personal background, why you're running for Senate and what you want voters to know.
Sure. I'm Elissa Slotkin. I am the Congresswoman right now for Michigan's 7th District, so Lansing and the 6 rural counties around it. But my training is in national security. I'm a former CIA officer and Pentagon official. I did 3 tours in Iraq alongside the military and ran for Congress for the first time in 2018, and now I'm running for Senate.
Perfect. And we're just about a month away from Election Day. How are you feeling about the race and the campaign?
I'm feeling good. I'm sure, like everyone in Michigan, I just want it to be happening, want the election to happen, right? Anyone who turns on the TV feels that way. And I feel good. I mean, I think Michigan knows that we're at the center of everything, right? We're going to help decide who is in charge of the Congress, who's in charge of the Senate, and definitely decide who's in the White House. And so people know that they're at the heart of it, and our independent swing voters are everything here.
Yeah, of course. And you're getting into some of the issues. Obviously, economy and cost of living have been some of the top concerns. Just kind of wondering, if you were elected, what would be some of the policies that you would support to help ease some of that cost of living issue?
Yeah, cost of living, inflation, that's probably the number one issue I hear about wherever I go. People are really hurting. They can feel it deeply in their pocketbooks. I think you can really do 3 things, right? Since there's no magic bullet to just solve everything in one day. Number 1 is bring supply chains back home, and particularly jobs in Michigan. I think that to me is, jobs with good benefits, good salaries, good longevity are a way of giving people more money in their pocket. Number 2, attacking the big costs that people have in their lives: healthcare, prescription drugs, housing, post-secondary education, childcare. And then number 3, people got to keep more of what they earn in their own pocket. So to me, this is a question of who you're fighting for when we're talking about tax policy. I don't think that the middle class should be paying any more taxes. I think that the ultra wealthy can pay more in taxes. So to me, those are the 3 things that we can really do to help get people more money in their pocket.
Sure. And you mentioned housing access, obviously a problem across the country, particularly northern Michigan. We like to focus on that as well. So just kind of wondering on the housing side, if there are any specific policies that you would be supporting to help ease some of those costs, or just make housing more accessible to more people.
Yeah, housing is right up there with cost of living as a concern for people. And I think what we've done is sponsor basically a bunch of different ways to get more affordable housing built. Right? We need more single family homes. We need more apartment buildings. We need more condos. And we want to make sure that they're not just for the super wealthy vacationer, but they're actually for teachers, nurses, fire and first responders, police officers. So we've done a bunch, particularly for northern Michigan, on workforce housing, right? If you're willing to be a teacher and teach in Traverse City or in Petoskey or wherever, Sheboygan, you shouldn't have to drive an hour in order to come to your job. So how do we create housing that's designed for our teachers, right? Or teachers, police officers, and nurses. So we've done some work on that. The other thing is there's a lot of local conversations happening about how we change ordinances at the local level. I heard, I'm interested in this because I heard it in Traverse City, maybe having the out-of-state vacationers pay a little bit more in tax when they come to our beautiful areas, and putting that revenue into building more reasonable housing for people who live there 24/7. So there's a combination of federal law that can be done, state law, but then also local ordinance.
Last question. Yes. Yeah. So obviously, one other topic in this campaign has been the EV and auto industry.
Yep.
Just kind of wondering, what you see Michigan's role as in the future of the industry, whether that's predominantly gas or electric, and just kind of how you think Michigan fits into.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I do not care what kind of car you want to drive. Right. I live on a dirt road. I don't drive an EV. I drive a normal combustion engine Ford. Drive whatever you want to drive. But if the question is, who do we want to build the next generation of vehicles? I want that to be Michigan, right? We may not drive a lot of them here, but if you look around the world, China is eating our lunch on these. In Europe, in South America, they're selling the majority of this generation of vehicles, and I'm not okay with that. So I've been very forward-leaning that, again, drive what you want to drive, but I want to make those things. And I always want to be like Team America over Team China. And I don't understand this idea of saying, well, we don't want to build these things. In Michigan, we know what it's like to miss a trend, right? In the 70s and 80s, everyone said fuel efficient vehicles, these little small vehicles are really the wave of the future. And Detroit said, no. People want their big Lincolns, they want their big cars. And then the Japanese came in and ate our lunch, and the Koreans came in and ate our lunch. I don't want to do that again, especially with China. So to me, I don't care what you drive, but I want to build them.